Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Banjo-Kazooie. At the end of the last episode, we finished most of Bubble Gloop Swamp, and in this episode, we are now going to bust open this next note door to access more of Grunty's lair. It is time to take on the rest of the lair. So yes, we have now accessed another portion of the lair. As you can see, there's a giant golden vase in the middle. But what we want to do first is break open these brick walls that are breakable, believe it or not. And actually, they're behind this esophagus, I believe, is a hidden Mumbo token. We'll go ahead and collect that, bring in our total to 15. Up these steps is another world that we have yet to unlock, so we will be visiting that world very soon, but that is not the next one we're going to be going to. Go ahead and break open this brick wall, and you will find a pair of wading boots waiting for you right here. That joke still isn't funny. We actually don't need to use those quite yet until we unlock the next world, because that'll allow us to access over there. So now, if we head through this way, through the other brick wall that we broke open, you will find a shock jump switch. When the back of Grunty's hand whoops your butt, you'll hardly stand. And that was lame. But anyways, if you go ahead and ground pound on the shock jump switch, it will reveal a shock jump pad. This one is moving, so basically what you want to do is time it where you jump right when it gets to you, and you can jump into this golden vase. I failed miserably right there. I don't know what happened there. Go and try that again. This time we'll jump inside of the vase, and you will fall down through the top of the big Grunty statue in the previous area, where the Jiggy is located that we activated from the last Grunty switch in Bubble Gloop Swamp. So that is how you obtain that Jiggy, and we now have 5 in the overworld. So we are halfway done with our Jiggy hunt in Grunty's lair. So very nice. We are proceeding on, and we are moving right along here. So we'll go ahead and take care of the Gruntling there, and we will move back into the next section that we just opened up. This time, since there was nothing else left for us to do in this area, we will head up these steps into the next area. And as you can see, we have another portion of Grunty's lair, and there is a lot left to explore. As you can see, there are cobwebs that are blocking some of these passageways. Get rid of this Gruntling. We have a Gruntling and a blue coat now. They take 2 different hits to take down instead of 1. But what you want to do with these cobwebs is if you fire your eggs at them, they will bust open, and this one will reveal another purple cauldron. And as if you remember, we activated the first purple cauldron all the way at the very beginning of the lair. So now we have easy transportation throughout the lair. Every time you restart the game, you start at the very beginning of the lair. So having these cauldrons activated to where you can transport a lot easier. It's a lot nicer because you're able to easily kind of navigate through the lair without walking all the way up and down on foot throughout the lair itself. But now we have arrived at the next entrance of the next world, Freezeezy Peak. Before we enter the next world, we have a couple of things to collect here. As you can see, there's a shock jump pad up here, and that'll send us up to the next level. Another shock jump pad there, but if you head over here, don't think you can use these until you found out how. So yeah, so the Kazooie gets another shoe upgrade coming up soon. But if you hit that flight pad switch, as you can see, you only have 10 seconds to make it over to that flight pad. However, you cannot do that yet without those new shoe ability, or the next ability that Kazooie gets for her footwear. That will not be access in this world, but we will access it soon. But it is now time to take on World 5, Freezeezy Peak. And as you can see, we have a winter level. The peak's got another move waiting for you if you can find it. So yes, we have another move to learn in this world. And we have a nice winter level, a nice Christmassy vibe, a nice wintry vibe. I have to say, this is probably my favorite world of the game. But if you head into this igloo, you will find these bear cubs, polar bear cubs. Wow, where's our presents? Our dad Boggy said he was fetching them. He's been gone ages. Wow. Yeah, so these little poor bear cubs are pretty sad because apparently their father, the polar bear, named Boggy has pretty much abandoned them during Christmas times. Of all times to abandon his children. He's got a nice little portrait there of himself on his wall of his igloo. More pictures of him with the little kids. He's got a picture of the giant snowman located in the world. And he's got a picture of, creepily enough, Banjo-Kazooie. Because this guy, even though he has not yet met Banjo-Kazooie, somehow he is creepy and has a giant picture of them in his igloo. Very creepy, very random. Not sure what to make of it. But if you go down here, you will find Boggy. Groan, my stomach aches. I shouldn't have eaten that shiny thing. Someone help. Poor Boggy. So yes, as you know, he is pretty much hinting that he has swallowed and eaten a Jiggy. If you ground pound on his stomach, you will see that he will not spit out the Jiggy. So there is another way to get the Jiggy out of his belly. And we cannot do that quite yet, but we will here shortly once we get to that point. So moving right along, we will go ahead and follow this little trail of notes, and we are now in the center of the world. And as you can see, we have some evil little snowman guys throwing snowballs at us. And I have to say, as much as I love this world, it's probably my favorite, those are probably my least favorite enemies because they can get annoying. But if you open up this present, where the Twinklies protect us from the Twinkly Munchers as we hop across to our tree. If enough of us get there, we can light the tree for you. Alright, so basically what your mission here is, you have to get rid of these muncher guys. The little guys are popping out, eating up the Twinklies, and you have to attack them. You can really use any attack, but I always use Kazooie's Rat-a-tat-rap. In my opinion, it's the most efficient way to do this, because if you keep a nice little rhythm and pattern going, you can easily take these guys out right in time for the Twinklies to make it across. All you have to do is get 10 of them across. So as long as a couple of them that can get eaten, and you can still win this. As you can see, I still have about a minute left, and I have only 6 more to get across. But again, you want to make sure you're sticking to a nice little rhythm, kind of like I am here, where you're just kind of knocking them out one by one. And you want to time it to where the Twinklies can get right over their heads before they come up to the surface. As you can see, there's only one more to get across. It looks like we've done it. Nice, smooth. Nothing too bad there. Just want to keep a nice little rhythm going. Phew, that was close, but we made it. Now switch us on. Alright, so as you can see, we have a giant ice cube enemy. This guy's known as a clinker. And what's nice about him is if you attack him, he will break into 2. So then you have to take on the 2 ice cubes, which is kind of cool. I like that idea for the enemy. They can be a little bit annoying to attack because they kind of slide all over the place. And they can be very aggressive because they kind of come at you pretty quickly. But I kind of like that idea that the ice cube breaks apart into multiple, which is kind of cool that they do that. Kind of keeps it realistic. But now it is time to turn on the on switch. We just want to fire some eggs at it, and that will activate the switch, which will light up the Christmas tree. Yippee! Be a star and you will find your reward. Hurry! So what we have to do now is find a flight pad. And what we have to do is basically fly through the star on top of that tree 3 different times. And that will unlock the first Jiggy of the world. We'll go ahead and hit this flight pad. And yes, I saw that Jinjo over there. We'll go ahead and collect him after this. But what we want to do is fly through this star 3 different times. And it doesn't matter which side of the star you fly through, as long as you fly through it 3 times. We went ahead and did it once. We have still another 30 seconds. We did it twice. And this shouldn't be a big issue. They pretty much give you plenty of time to do this. But we'll go ahead and fly through it a 3rd time. And that will bust open our first Jiggy, which is located inside of the Christmas tree. So we get to take a nice little holiday stroll inside of the beautiful Christmas tree. If I can get down into it, that would be great. I'm going to try to do this as conveniently as I possibly can. Try to fly into it, and it looks like I'm not going to be able to because I'm being blocked by some invisible wall in front of the branches. Go ahead and do it the boring way and surface back to the ground, and we'll just jump in it like normal. There's actually a mumbo token hiding right behind the branch there. Go and actually climb up the branch, and you are now inside the Christmas tree. And as you can see, one of the presents is hidden right here inside of the tree. I am a present. Give me to someone sad. So yes, we know who to give that to, but we have 2 more to find before we do that. And as you can see, the termites have made a return. And I like how they kind of threw the termites inside of this Christmas tree. Not only is it nice to kind of see the return of a familiar enemy, but it's kind of cool how they kind of throw them in there, kind of realistically how termites would be attracted to like a tree like this that's outdoors. So it's kind of cool to see that. But as you can see, we have a lot more collectibles inside of the tree, and we are now scaling the tree itself, which is kind of cool, to be able to scale a giant Christmas tree. What better way to do that, or what better world to have a giant Christmas tree to scale than Freezeezy Peak? It truly feels like a winter wonderland. But now we're going to climb to the very top. As you can see, our Jiggy is located at the very top of the branch. Go and collect the rest of these eggs. Replenish our egg count a little bit, and we will collect the first Jiggy of the world. And as you can see, there's really not much left in here to collect. Nothing but branches and stems and termites. So we'll go ahead and make our exit on down. But yeah, kind of going back into my love for this world. Of course, growing up with this game as a kid, this was one of the worlds that kind of stood out to me because it had a very nice Christmas vibe, very winter wonderland vibe. And it just looks nice and beautiful overall. But now it's time to learn Bottle's devastating beak bomb attack. Nice one, Goggles, tell me more. When you're flying, press X to launch Kazooie at a target, like a missile. Choose your targets carefully, though, as it costs a red feather each time you use it. So yeah, so basically, you are going to learn the beak bomb attack, which we will be using actually quite frequently throughout the rest of the game, especially in this world. And of course, Bottles has let us know that this is the only move we will be learning in this world. Not like the last world where there was only one move to learn. But now we can use the flight pad to get up into the air, and we'll try not to get bombed by those snowballs from those evil snowmen over there. I mean, those guys are evil. Snowmen are supposed to be happy, joyful, you know, full of life, full of Christmas spirit, and these guys are like just straight out of the depths of hell. Man, these guys are very evil, very annoying, and they can be very annoying if you're trying to climb platforms because they will continuously chuck their snowballs at you. And now that we have freed the first Jinjo, we'll see if we can actually use our beak bomb attack to take these guys out. So yeah, this is the only way to actually take out the snowmen. Of course, just like in the last world, we have another, I guess, another obstacle to get through the cold water. So the water is basically going to be icy and freezing. So you will actually take damage each time you fall into the water. Again, similar to Bubble Gloop Swamp when we could not, swim through the swamp water or walk through the swamp water. So that tells me we're going to have to find another way to travel through the ice water. But now that we have the beak bomb attack, we can finish off these snowmen. As you can see, one of them had a Grunty switch hidden beneath him. But like I said, this is the only way to take these guys out. If you notice, there's a giant red X on the top of their hats. That's what you want to aim for with the beak bomb move. So it can be kind of challenging and a little bit awkward if you're a new player and you've never used the move before. I know certainly when I first used it, it was a little bit weird. But once you get a nice little, I guess a nice perspective and angle on the snowman, it is pretty easy. You just want to basically just aim right for their hats, and you want to just use the beak bomb attack directly at their hats when you're right in front of them, and that will take them out one by one. As you can see, one of them had an empty honeycomb that he was hiding. So yes, you will find very nice collectibles hidden pretty much within each of the snowmen. But we also want to take every single one of them out because there's another nice reward we get for doing that as well. I think that one had a golden feather. And as you can see, now that the last snowman is taken out, a Jiggy has appeared on the very top of the hat of the giant snowman, the good snowman, here in the center of the world. So we want to actually make our way all the way up there to collect that Jiggy. It's actually inside of a giant icicle or ice cube guy. We're going to go ahead and break him open and collect the next Jiggy. I want to go ahead and take care of the rest of the big ice cube guys. And now we are at the highest point of the world. And again, I love that they give you these areas to explore that are very high up in each of the worlds, kind of like we did back in Treasure Trove Cove. We were on that giant lighthouse. We are now on the very top of the snowman's hat the highest point you can get up in the world here. So you can kind of see a nice little view of the world, kind of get your bearings a little bit better if you get a little lost and are not sure where to go. It's kind of nice that they give you a nice aerial view of this world as well. But now we're going to jump down here, and we have more collectibles to get. And I don't know what it is about, just exploring on top of a giant snowman. But this was one of my favorite parts of the world. I just love the idea that, not only do you have this nice wintry, beautiful setting to look at and to explore, get the next present right there on the snowman's carrot nose, but you're actually able to explore across this giant snowman himself. And of course you will find many collectibles and rewards on him as well. So I just love the idea that they included that in this level, and it is probably one of the reasons why this world stands out to me the most, and it's probably why it's my favorite world. But now if you jump into this little pipe that the snowman has in his mouth, you will find another Jiggy hidden in there. And as you can see, he actually has a giant red and yellow scarf around his neck, and that actually leads us down all the way back to the ground. But there are tons of collectibles to find on this scarf as well. And there's a sled there. We're not going to use that quite yet. I'm going to get all these collectibles first. There are many notes up here that we cannot leave behind. But if you look over here on this broom that has a bunch of snow on it, there is a Jinjo hiding out right here. So I'm going to go ahead and collect him. And again, apparently the Jinjos don't have wings. They do not have the ability to fly, so I don't know how the heck he got all the way up there. But man, he was probably scared. But now we're going to go ahead and collect some more collectibles and replenish our health here. And it is now time to take this little sled right down the scarf. Oof. That's better. Hey, you found my sled. I'll go and practice for the big race now. See you, buddy. Yeah, what about your kids, man? Like, they're in there crying. Their dad's not in there to help them find their presents. Dude, what is going on? But anyhow, he has now spit out the Jiggy that he had swallowed in his fat belly. So now we can finally collect that. And of course, his children are still crying, sad. But all the guy cares about, unfortunately, is his little sled racing. So we'll go ahead and continue on because we still have to find one more present for the little polar bear cubs. Because apparently we're doing more than his own father has done for them in his entire lifetime. But now we want to go ahead and just finish collecting all these collectibles here on the ground. And now that we destroyed all those other snowmen, there are a lot of other things we need to go ahead and collect as well. The first one being that Grunty switch. We actually need to go ahead and hit that, because of course that's going to reveal another hidden Jiggy in Grunty's lair. We'll go ahead and head right over there. Make our way on over there. Try to avoid the icy water because we don't want to get our butt frozen. And we'll go ahead and see where this Jiggy is located. And it looks like it is just above the entrance to the world. We'll go ahead and check that out later on once we finish up here. But for now, we are going to head in another direction. So if you go up here, you will find Boggy on his sled, and he looks like ready to race somebody. There's another empty sled there. So let's see what happens if we go over and talk to him. Hello again, buddy. I'm waiting for someone to race me. We'll race you, numbbutt. Sorry, you're too big for my sled. Wow, that's rude. I can only race someone smaller. Is that a fat joke? I'm not sure. But anyhow, so yeah, you pretty much can't race him quite yet. There is something that we need to do before we can. But first, we're going to go over here to these little houses. As you can see, Mumbo has a hut located here, so we will have another transformation that we will be transforming into in this world. First, we're going to check out these little houses. There's a Jinjo hiding out behind this one, so we want to make sure you explore all the way over here to find him. There's another flight pad up here that'll allow us to do some more flying, and now we can get over to Mumbo's hut. Before we do that, though, there's a couple other things that we need to look for. and need to collect. As you can see, the scarf that is around the snowman goes all the way down to the ground, so we have tons of notes that we need to collect on the scarf. Like there is a giant walrus holding a Jiggy down there. Can't do anything with that yet. Go down here. And first thing what we need to do is, as you can see, there are 3 buttons on the snowman's stomach. So using our beak bomb attack, we can now crash and hit those buttons and use them as targets, essentially. Whoa, that was close. I didn't want to fall all the way down, just trying to get some momentum. It was probably smarter to do this from the bottom to the top because you can just ascend a lot easier than you can descend. We'll go ahead and do that. So now we have the bottom one hit, and there's only one button left to hit, and it is the middle one. And that will reveal another Jiggy underneath the snowman. We're gonna have to remember to get to that. I'm gonna get that here in a little bit because now that we are in the air, there's still some more stuff to do. Go ahead and now collect all these collectibles that are still left up on the scarf. Of course, we have some notes to find because those are important for 100% completion of the level. We'll go ahead and collect the rest of these. And I love how they color code the feathers with the red parts of the scarf and of course some notes with the yellow parts of the scarf. I don't know why. I just always found that was kind of cool and a nice little idea. The feathers can sometimes be hard to see on certain parts of the scarf because they really blend in with that color of red, or that shade of red. So it's kind of nice how they kind of color coded it. But anyways, we will now travel over here. There's another clinker. Break him open into his little he'll divide into 2 little ones. We'll break them open, and we will move right along. Again, just love this little snowy atmosphere, and I didn't mean to slide down here, but anyways, there is actually the 3rd and final present right here. So we'll go ahead and collect that. Take me to the kids. I'm the last one. So yes, we have all 3 of the presents. So we will now be able to cheer up the little polar bear cubs because their horrible father, Boggy, was not up to it. So we have to do it and kind of step up. But now, I think it is time to head over to Mumbo's hut. Go and collect the little rest of these notes. As you can see, there are notes located underneath the cold water, but of course we can't get those yet. So once we have our next transformation, we will actually be able to do that. So we'll go ahead and now collect the Jiggy underneath the snowman before we forget to do that. And that will make number 5. So we are already halfway done. So not too bad. Just breezing on by. We head up here. Let me see, where is it at? I think we need to go, okay, over here. You will see that giant walrus holding that Jiggy. So if you actually walk up to him, go and collect these notes first. We almost have all the notes already. Go and walk up to him. Yikes, a nasty fierce bear. So yes, he will be scared of us because we're a bear, and he's gonna hide right in this little passageway, and we actually need to get into that cave, but of course his little fat blubbery self is going to block it, so that way we cannot enter it because he's afraid of us. Phew, it's safe for Wazza to come out now. Yeah, his name is Wazza the Walrus. This guy is such a character. But we cannot access that cave quite yet, so there's only one thing left to do for us, and that is to head back over to Mumbo's hut, because we will actually be able to transform into something that will allow us to do a lot more in the world, and we will be able to explore a lot more. Similar to how we were able to back in Bubble Goop Swamp as the crocodile Banjo. But now it's time to head over to Mumbo's hut. So let's go ahead and take the flight pad. It looks like we're kind of getting low on feathers, so I'll have to remember to replenish those up next time I see a bunch of feathers just hanging about. We use our beak bomb attack, and I love the beak bomb attack because not only is it useful for hitting various targets in various worlds, but to access, of course, more collectibles. But you can kind of get around a lot better now. The flying mechanic itself is great, but using the beak bomb attack, it just speeds things up along very nicely. But now it's time to head back into Mumbo's hut. Well, I guess for the first time. And as you can see, he is fast asleep again, but he only requires 15 Mumbo tokens. So this time, he's going to transform us into